Welcome to a very special Halloween episode of Spirits Podcast.
We wanted to give you some spooky stories from one of America's up-and-coming communities, the city of Redline. We reached out to Third Sight Media and spoke to them a little bit about the strange and unusual happenings of Redline.
But honestly, it's what happened after the episode that was particularly spooky. Since our recording with Third Sight's media rep, Michael Tate, we were having trouble getting in touch with him. We reached out with some follow-up questions, figured out his Twitter link, stuff like that, but we didn't get a reply. We reached out to Third Sight also and found out that not only has the company shuttered, but Michael is apparently missing.
Isn't that super freaky?
I was kind of torn over whether or not we should release this episode, actually.
Well, you know what? We talked about it, and we're going to give you, our listeners, the full interview that we had with Michael and unedited for content. If anyone has heard anything from Michael, you should contact us or the Redline police. We're not ones that usually entertain conspiracy theories and stuff. But when the last person to speak to the supposed mayor of Redline before he disappeared now also disappeared himself, we're going to raise some eyebrows about that.
Yeah, 2 data points is 2 data points. You know, it's not just one person with an odd story in a crowd. So anyway, we hope that you're safe, Michael.
Yeah. But first off, Amanda, let's talk about who our sponsor is for this episode.
Yes. So this episode is brought to you by Cambridge Central Square Community College Commuter Campus, the CCSCCCC. The CCSCCCC is now proudly serving the mobile community of Redline, from Alewife to Braintree and everywhere in between.
Are you interested in going back to school, looking to get your degree in ethnocentric historical perspectives?
Froyo business management.
Existential baseball quandary resolution.
Or philosophy? CCSCCCC is a school for you.
So I think, Amanda, we are ready to get to the creepy, cool myths that we talked about with Michael. Hopefully he's doing okay.
Yeah, we wish you all the best. Remember, y'all, you can find us at Spirits Podcast all over the internet. And in the meantime, enjoy this Halloween special episode of Spirits Podcast.
So, Amanda, you know that I spent many of my formative years in Boston.
You did. So did I. Getting really drunk.
There's a lot of drinking going on there.
Our college years.
Yeah. So I went to Northeastern University. Go Huskies.
Woo.
And I unfortunately left Boston before the Redline referendum happened, because that's the definition of creepy and cool.
I know. And like the coolest infrastructural thing to happen.
Yes.
And
I
you
know.
weren't there for it.
I know how much you love infrastructure.
We do.
But I thought that because, just the creation of a new city creates urban legends, just as we are humans, that's how it works.
Yeah.
So I thought we would do some urban legends of the Red Line. And I thought there was no better way of picking the brain of someone who knows the Red Line than by reaching out to Third Sight Media, which I almost did a co-op at, actually.
Oh, really? Part of your degree?
Yeah. I was going to go into, some journalism stuff, but I ended up doing public history. And then I ended up working at the New England Historic Genealogical Society instead.
You did. You did lots of like gluing old books together and being like, Amanda, I'm touching Abigail Adams' hair.
There was a lot of touching Abigail Adams' hair, correct. Yeah. But I reached out to Third Sight Media, and luckily we have Michael Tate on the line, who's going to talk to us about some urban legends. Hi, Michael.
Hi, how are you? This is Michael. Michael Tate. Hi.
So, Michael, do you want to get us started on some spooky Redline urban legends?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Wow, we're going right into it. Are we recording yet?
Yes, we are.
Oh,
don't worry.
Okay,
you got this.
All right, I have some notes here. I should have probably not stapled them together.
You made notes. Thank you.
Yeah, I typed them up, and then I went to the library and had them printed out, and that's actually not too bad of a deal, really. I can't have a printer at my place. It's kind of like just a hammock, really. Most
Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's weird. They call it,
Minimalist.
it's at Porter Square. And, it's, this isn't an urban legend, but it's just a little bit of understanding as to what the Red Line is like. I don't know if you guys have been there, but
I haven't had a chance to go back to Boston yet. So
you should totally check it out. It's a little strange. It's a little, it's a little creepy, a little cool, I guess.
That was almost our thing. I appreciate that.
Very good.
Oh, so yeah, we call it like the Ewok Village, especially there because it's all like these hammock apartments, and I don't
Amanda,
know
do you know what Ewoks are from?
Are they the furry ones from Star Wars?
Yes, you did good.
Nice, nailed it.
I'm proud of you.
they're
you.
the little guys. They're like Chewbacca's but shrunted.
I liked those guys. They were very cute. They were too cute. Like every other alien in Star Wars is just horrible looking, and then the Chewbacca's the Ewoks are just so cute.
That was a bold statement against all of the alien races in Star Wars, Amanda.
I mean, they're more like traditionally what we think of as aliens, like
Yes, okay.
slimy skin or blue like trunk noses and all kinds of stuff. Vaguely reptilian.
Gotcha. Are there reptilians in Redline?
No.
Okay.
I mean, we haven't found any yet. I mean, that would probably
Not yet.
To be honest, at this point, I don't know. We could. I mean, there's lots of weird stuff that we get to see, and there's certainly a lot of urban myths and legends that make their way around the communities. So we have a few that Third Sight had given me. Some of these I personally I hadn't personally heard of, but I have notes and stuff on them, and I can answer questions, I guess. But I have tunnel dwellers. There's like this whole thing about tunnel dwellers, so look, there's rumors of like the secret communities known as tunnel dwellers, and they're hidden deep within the tunnels of the Red Line. So some of the things about them that people talk about are the fact that the tunnel dwellers have carved out spaces far beyond the regular known tunnels. Like they have like dug like for real deep tunnels further out, all throughout Boston and Cambridge, in which to build like their little hidden cities. I've never come across that personally, but to be honest, there are certain tunnels you just don't want to stroll down at certain times.
Like any neighborhood, there's the places that you
Exactly.
don't go alone after dark.
Exactly. And it didn't take long for this type of stuff to happen. It's like almost like the second the referendum went through and people got down there, like they were already good block, bad block, but tunnels. So
like any community building.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned about with these tunnels that apparently exist outside of the Red Line tunnels, Boston's a coastal city. Are they they excavating properly? That would worry me about the stability of the city itself.
Right, because like what if they like go right out into the ocean and then like they flood out the tunnels? That's just not
Or like the bedrock could get compromised. Like you don't know.
Right.
That's not good.
New England, just a pile of rocks are like, this is closest to Ireland that we could get. Goodbye.
I don't know if these tunnel dwellers have architecture or structural engineering degrees.
Look, you don't know. Maybe there's a systemic problem at the local architecture school, and they're just people are being driven to take up the like minimalist tunnel dwelling, semi-camping lifestyle.
Well, yeah, there's no like rule about what a tunnel dweller could be. I mean, they could be very, very well organized, or they could be kind of like chuds, troglodyte type people.
You get some full mole people action going on here.
Yeah, they could be. Yeah, they could be Morlocks maybe. And I think that's kind of really what I'm getting at here is that I think that once you start living underground, people start creating their own little bits of truth and fiction and start mixing them a little bit. So like they've already gotten this reputation for being somewhat mischievous, and that they sabotage some of the trains, and that they kind of like
Gremlins-esque.
Right,
exactly. Like they're stealing things from like mechanical parts to like build their own stuff to dig, and that's kind of like the rumor that surrounds them.
Proposal.
Go
for it.
What if there were chaotic good tunnel dwellers, where instead of stealing parts and disrupting train service, they like, without telling anybody, finished the 2nd Avenue subway and excavated a new tunnel and extended it down to the Lower East Side in Chinatown? Like, wouldn't that be amazing?
That's your New Yorker reference there.
Or they like cleared debris from the tracks so that track fires don't happen. Or when someone falls, someone dashes out of the tunnel, like pops them back up, gives them a little boost, and they just keep the trains running on time quietly from beneath.
You had to give a good spin on the tunnel dwellers.
I'm just saying it would be very helpful if they're there underground, unseen, omnipresent. Then help me get to work on time.
Well, that's kind of like the best case scenario, really. I think is that maybe that they are doing something helpful. But most people don't think that. Most people think that they're eating people.
I try to look on the bright side, even for people who have forsaken the sun.
Yeah, because since we don't see him so much, they people start making up things about, like, they're certain that, oh, this guy disappeared. Meanwhile, he could have just moved out of the red line, and so it always becomes about, like, he got eaten by a tunnel dweller.
Oh man, that's not good.
And, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry we don't want to confront the reality that, like, Ben is gay and his parents kicked him out, or like Julie really just wanted to, like, get out of town and become a doctor elsewhere.
Right.
And it's easier to say, oh man, tunnel dwellers,
They got him.
Or right, or you just wanted fresh air. That's it freaks people out sometimes. Is that, what are you going up to the surface for fresh air? And I don't know, people get weird. So
Want to
yeah,
see some
so,
grass, maybe? I don't know.
So they also think, though, that, and this is also another little rumor, is that they use subway rats as messengers or spies that are in fact rats themselves that spy and then come back and tell on people.
It's like pizza rat to the extreme.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy. But I think the thing to take away here is that there's always some element of truth, right, to these things. Is that I think in this case what you have is you have these homeless encampments that we're very well aware of in some of the unused tunnels, and the camps are were at least semi-permanent. Splicing in water and electric lines, serving as other parts of the city. These people don't actually call themselves tunnel dwellers. They're just people. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
People who happen to live in tunnels. It's
Yes.
fine.
Exactly. I mean, technically we all do down there. So
That is true.
It's probably not
Wow.
fair to single them out, right?
Yeah.
That's true. What are
Exactly.
houses but detached tunnels above ground?
Exactly. Exactly.
We all live in tunnels when it comes down to it.
Listen, we all live in tunnels of our own making, man. We all let our I'm trying to channel my drunken college self, trying
Gotcha.
to, like, out talk philosophy bros from BC in bars.
Thank you for that.
Being like, listen, man, we all just like make a tunnel for ourselves in our mind. We had to, like, on the same track, man. Gotta, like, open it up. Anyway, yeah.
Well, I have to say, you guys are really great, because I was a little scared coming on, so I'm already really relaxed. I really appreciate it.
Well, we're glad, Michael.
I really do appreciate it. It's I know you guys usually have drinks on the show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have a drink, so I was like, oh, how am I gonna deal? And so because I mean, never mind. I'll just keep on with the thing. I don't want to derail.
No,
So,
man, I get it.
Yeah.
Your drink could be tea. Your drink could be coffee. It doesn't matter. As long as we're having fun and building communities
Yeah,
together.
man. The real narcotic is enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Get excited about your myth and you're on board with us.
right. Like I could have tea, right? And tea would be something for
Exactly.
my
Yes.
spirit, maybe, and
Hey.
that would tie in, I think. So
I'm in.
that's I like it. I like that take on it, and I don't feel so unincluded now in the drinking. So that's good.
No, you got it, man.
So I have. Why did I staple this? Okay, so yeah, Charlie on the MTA. Do you know the whole thing with Charlie on the MTA? Like, in the,
No.
I know that your Charlie card is the thing you use to get on the the metro. No, God, why do I not remember the T? The T. I've lived in too many cities at this point. I don't know the names for the subways anymore.
well, the thing about the Charlie on the MTA is like a song, but now it's kind of taken its own whole thing about where the idea is that this man bought a ticket to get on the MBTA, but neglected to bring enough cash to purchase an exit fare, and then he got stuck on the MTA forever. Which
Oh
I
my
think
God, that's awesome.
exactly. All right. So out of most of the things that are here, I don't normally buy into stuff like that, but I kind of believe in some degree some like element of spirit, right? So like, and that's just not coincidence about the show and all. I just mean like, I do believe in that that there's at least maybe something going on.
Some animating force. Sure.
Yeah. So part of the thing that they talk about a lot is that while we all know that the song is a complete work of fiction, that many of the T writers have claimed to have seen Charlie's ghost while riding the rails. Similar to the Mayor of Redline issues, but I'll get into that guy in a sec.
Sure.
So, but but here's the thing: is that it could possibly be something along those lines because spirits and all, they're kind of real.
Hell yeah. And it's also interesting, the few times that I rode the red line when I was in Boston, because I was more green line and orange line when I was living there. So what I remember vividly from being in Boston and riding the red line was I remember that they had ads that they would specifically almost do multiple of them in a row so that as you're going by in the train, it almost looked like the picture was moving.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that.
Oh
that
my God,
could be
you're
kind
right.
of the vibe.
I love that idea. I am terrified though of the idea that you're just looking out the subway in a tunnel, expect not to see anything, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, another train, whatever. Scary man face in the window. I don't like that whatsoever. Julia, how much I dislike the trope of in horror movies looking behind you, there's someone in the mirror. I just hate that idea of a face being where a face should not be. And I do not want to see that on my commute.
It's like that cylindrical children's toy where there's the image and you spin the thing and it's got the slots and then the image moves as it spins. It's kind of like that.
It was like the height of technology in 1910.
It was something trope, not heliotrope. That's
something like that.
Yeah, all I know is that it was in a movie I watched once, House on Haunted Hill.
Xenotrope?
I don't really know, but what I do know is I studied media theory in college. So my degree was in literature, but I also did a lot of media theory and how's the internet changing what we read and what we write and all that kind of stuff. And one of my favorite readings was a scholar called Shivelbush, who wrote kind of the first examination of how, historically train travel changed the way that people think and read and see. And at the time, scholars were so nervous and just people in the world, that trains would break our brains, man. That seeing the world go by that quickly, because otherwise it was horseback. And so at most you can get up to 30 miles an hour at a real gallop, but not for that long. And so the question was if you're sitting still and looking out the window and the world is passing you by so quickly, is it going to break your eyesight? Are people going to adapt to see things that quickly out the window? What does it mean to read a newspaper and then look up and see the world just flying by you? Or seeing the first talkie, right? It's before that, the movie would be silent. There'd be an organist, somebody in the theater playing along and, great, whatever, fine. But to hear the people on the screen, what? That would have been so crazy.
There had to have been people that really just freaked out.
Yeah. Or, in a way, it's kind of the opposite, this origin of the Charlie myth of people who wouldn't be photographed or who wouldn't sit for, I don't know how it's pronounced, but daguerreotype. Daguerreotype, the predecessor to photography.
Okay.
Very long exposure photos, because there was a fear of, the photo takes something from me.
Capture your soul
of my
or
spirit.
whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of the opposite of that, right? Where a rendering of a person is creating a spirit or is projecting this myth, the spirit into the world. I think it's very cool.
Yeah, no, totally. Don't take them on any, Universal tour rides or anything like that. That's gonna really
no one
just
make a gif of this image.
Them.
I think it would then take over the internet.
Yeah, no, it's craziness. So, do we have more time for more these?
Of course we do.
These things, because I feel like
time is an illusion, man. Talk however long you want.
Okay, cool. So look, I also, all right, this is one of the craziest ones, and I'm saving the best for last. Not this one, but the one after it. Because this one is actually this one isn't one that is as near and dear to me. This is actually an example of something that I think is kind of like a bunch of hooey. Okay, so they're making me say this. So apparently there's a rat king.
Ooh.
Oh no.
A rat king in a rat city. Yeah. So look. All right. So look, we obviously have a big rat problem in Boston.
And any large metropolitan area does.
Yeah, but especially the wharf ones. Y'all got it real bad in Boston. Yeah.
So some of the things that they do say about the Rat King, as much as it makes me shudder to say, there's kind of got that the intelligent ones have an instinctive knowledge of transit technologies, which they love to mess with. That
is vaguely horrifying, Michael. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, isn't it? That's really out there. But they think possibly influenced by World War II pilot gremlin lore that this is.
Whoa.
Yeah. Some believe that the Rat King was created by the mayor himself. Mayor Chelmsworth, who, after successfully created, our new city, decided to set himself a new goal on creating a non-human civilization.
That's very mad scientist. I like it.
That's a big leap, though. That's like saying, oh, okay, I won my minor league softball tournament. I want to go try out for the Yankees. Do the Yankees even have tryouts? No, they just buy people. That's not how it works.
Exactly. I'm going to make my own World Series.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The Red Sox. That was very insensitive of me, actually.
That was really insensitive of you. Excuse you.
It's
I'm really thrown off by the Rat King thing. I don't like it.
It's okay. Like, if it's just between us and whatnot, and whoever listens to the show as well, is that I'm not a Red Sox fan. I'm not a fan of baseball, really. So.
Damn, Michael. All right.
Yeah. I watch a lot of TV and movies, and I squeeze a lot of stress balls. So
fair enough. Don't we all?
Yeah. So living down there, we are seeing an influx of rats being able to sustain themselves, because there's trash and there's all sorts of lovely things that they're attracted to. So
yes, the things that rats need to live.
Yeah, it really is amazing how well engineered cities are to support rats. Like, I know it's not with the intention.
And pigeons,
right. Just the idea of like densely populated, lots of refuse, lots of water, lots of hidden crevices for you to go in, like an unending array of garbage. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no,
for the rats at least.
For the rats, yeah. No, it's all relative, man.
Well, I see lots of rats all the time. I mean, but I would buy into the idea that maybe somebody at some point has or is going to use them as career rats, and I think maybe that would be the best use of them, because I don't want to see them get hurt or anything like that, and maybe
do something that adds to society, like create a meme like Pizza Rat.
Yeah. Exactly. Or just maybe an entertainment show made out of them or something like that, where they can perform and do circus routines or something.
Live your dream, man.
So look, this kind of all feeds back into, like, I mentioned Chelmsford. Now, do you guys know, like, what happened with
I do. Amanda might not.
Listen, man, I'm a New Yorker. I don't journey north that often.
I still have friends in Boston. I hear all the news.
Like,
give me a quick synopsis.
Okay, well, all right. So look, this guy, I'm gonna try to use my nice words. Decided that his life was incomplete without taking on a task that he had no intention on following through with. That he set into motion many of things, which one of them included me becoming homeless briefly. But probably, that's really neither here nor there. So he decides he wants to secede the Red Line from the rest of Boston to become its own city, and so he starts this campaign, and he gets a referendum put on the ballot, and it just squeaked past and became a real thing, and he reneged on his promise and reneged on his duties to lead this city, and left it completely high and dry and in chaos. So he really did us dirty, as the kids say.
Yeah, he dipped, Amanda.
It's almost like politicians can run for office as a joke, suddenly find themselves winning, and fuck a lot of things up.
But in regards to this mayor, though, he literally disappeared after the election. And so Yikes. It's taken on a life of its own as far as where he is and what he could possibly be doing. Now, some of the rumors about his whereabouts is that some people believe that, having accomplished his goals, he walked off into the tunnels and remains underground, which I'm assuming that's where we get into the whole Rat King idea.
Sure.
And some people just believe that he's lost in the tunnels. Others believe he's deliberately living in the belly of the city he created, and occasionally walking the trains in disguise. I don't know what that means, but
disguised, but exploring the city and
boarding trains and walking through them, I suppose.
Yeah, okay, that makes more sense now. Yeah, so they think that he's just getting on the trains and just pretending to be something that he's not. Like
a Princess Jasmine to the Red Line's Agrabah, I guess,
with less belly.
Exactly. I maybe he does dress like Princess Jasmine. I don't
maybe.
I don't know.
Live your truth. Live your truth.
So
it's always a fun day when you realize it's Comic-Con weekend, because you look up and see 4 Narutos or something on the subway with you. It's beautiful.
I've been meaning to go. I would love to do that. But
we'll get drinks. Hit us up.
Yeah.
Or
tea,
all kinds of tea. I know so many tea houses.
Yeah, that would be great too. Yeah, we'll do some tea. That would be wonderful, actually. I like white tea and oolong, and those are good things.
I would do a first date at a tea place.
I went on a first date at a tea place once. Would you like to hear about it, Julia?
Yes, please.
Okay, so it was with a guy I met at a Neil Gaiman event.
I remember this guy now.
Because I tweeted for some reason something to Neil Gaiman along the lines of like, okay, so I tweeted, I'm at the, at Neil Gaiman reading, flying solo in the balcony. If you know me and you're here, say hi. Because I had friends on the internet who I knew were in New York and might have been going. And anyway, so Neil retweeted that. And so a bunch of men just came up to me and said hello in the balcony, one of whom I thought was nice and took me on a date a few days later to a like tea house in like Little Koreatown.
Cute.
In New York City. And it was horrible. And he couldn't talk very well to me. Like no shade, but just it was awkward in person. Was a sword guy, like talked about his swords.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh no. And then at the end of our date, and I was along for the ride. Like I was like, all right, this is a nice person. Like we won't date, but like whatever. And then at the end of the date, proceeded to give me a DVD of his animation reel.
Nope.
Because he was looking for jobs as an animator, and I was like, I'm a 19-year-old sophomore at NYU. I don't know what you want from me exactly. But that's my tea house date.
That is a really terrible date. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry to derail here, but
No,
I got to go on another tea house date with an excellent person, and then I'll erase the memory.
Yeah, no, that's when we come in, we should all go get some tea when I come to see Comic-Con. I would like to do that next year. I think it would be nice.
We're down.
I love New York. I
go every year, so we should do it.
What would you cosplay as, Michael?
Oh, that's a great question. Probably as man, who I really like. Have you guys been watching on Netflix the Bright Sessions?
Yes.
Hell yeah, I have.
Yeah, I would totally. I know, it's. I feel like almost like an AU sort of thing. Like I think I would want to be like Dr. Bright. Like I like Dr. Bright a lot. So like
gender swap Dr. Bright, love it.
Yeah. Or like I really like ours, Paradoxica. Maybe like
also a real great show.
Among my favorite shows.
Yeah. I really like that show too. So I don't know, like again, I feel like I keep gender swapping here, but I would totally dig being Sally Grissom.
That's fine.
Or,
I want to be a gender swap Captain Eiffel from Wolf 359.
That would be great. Yeah, I think that would be great. I think we should all go as something like that, and then there'd be like almost like a theme going.
That would be
really
awesome.
Cute. Aren't you excited, Julia, to see the Caleb and Adam cosplays of like young, cute gay kids from high school?
So cute.
That'd be great.
I can't wait.
That would be great. Yeah, no, that's gonna be lots of fun when that starts becoming more of a thing. That'd be great.
Amazing.
I feel like I'm terrible. I feel like I always derail, but I was with the mayor, right? So
right. Yes. Back to the mayor.
No.
Oh, right. I'm so sorry.
I'll talk about anything all day long, but the only thing is that I know that my bosses get really, really intense. Like, look, it's really weird at my place, and I probably shouldn't have said that on public anything. But
we'll cut it. It's fine.
We can,
okay.
Yeah, we can totally edit, man. Don't worry.
Awesome. All right, good. But there's like since this is kind of like a show about like mythology and stuff like that, and urban legend, is that we have a lot of pneumatic tube systems in our building that the management uses to communicate to us.
Are they left over from the days when like big apartment buildings would have like mail connections into the basement, to like the U.S. mail system?
Well, apparently they're still using them.
Or I'm saying, are they new? Were they like newly installed?
No, they're newer because they go everywhere. They go. Yeah, there's places in the building that are like key card locked, and we're Third Site Mag. We're just deal with predictions and all sorts of types of things like that. So it's sort of weird that we have that kind of security. And we have,
it seems a little bit disproportionate.
Yeah, so but it's almost like too, like there's rumors that like we're bugged and that they can listen to everything that we do and say, which for the most part is like whatever, because I don't have anything really to hide. But it's kind of weird, like when you're having a conversation and then a message comes to you through pneumatic tube and it's an answer to your question.
Ooh, that's sketchy as hell. I'm not gonna lie.
That's a hard no. That's a hard no.
Paranormal activity at that place. I mean, I feel like sometimes there's like a channeling or something goes on. I do like my friend of mine who had passed away right before I got the job, and it's kind of a complex, convoluted explanation, but he was responsible for me getting the job. And I handle a column called Dear Leon, and it's kind of like a Dear Abby sort of thing. But I use I Ching to help people out. And so, like, I genuinely feel, though, like, when I'm doing it, and I try to do it from Leon's perspective, is that there is that thing of, like, Leon channeling through me, almost like he's in my ear. And I think that's kind of neat. And that's the only place that it started happening in. And then, every now and then I still think I hear him, though. So I guess that's kind of weird. I'm sorry that I said that out loud.
No, that's cool. We talk a lot about, like, we have personal friends who, their relatives have the sight or something like that, and
right.
They channel ghosts and stuff like that. So it's something that we're super open to, just as cool. People.
Yeah,
right,
I'm not in
good.
the business of telling other people that their experiences aren't valid.
Okay, good, because I use that preconceived notion that somebody's going to laugh at you. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad there's no judgment there.
Yeah,
but
man.
isn't that, on the flip side, isn't that a really beautiful feeling when you're with friends and you say something kind of hinting at a thing that you'd like to go into, and they give you an implicit or explicit sign that, like, yeah, man, let's go there, Yeah. Like talking about mental health or talking about, loss or some kind of thing that is not appropriate all the time. But to have that little nod of recognition, and realize, oh, right, this is okay to do. That's really beautiful.
Yeah, I always look for it at the end of what I'm saying, though, because, like, yeah, I mean, it's easy to get the nod to go ahead, but then, like, when you're done,
sure.
and, like, they're just staring at you, and you're like,
and at the end, they're like, oh, yeah, me too. Don't worry. That's a good one.
Yeah. So, I thank you, because I, sometimes I just, get a little excited and I say stuff, and so yeah.
Don't we all?
That's two.
Yeah, I mean, those are all the ones that they gave me, and I actually gave you an extra one with the pneumatic tube system, which is
I appreciate
also,
that.
Yeah,
Which
it's
is
really
totally
yeah,
real.
it's really weird, and like there's hidden boozy spots in the place, like people like hide booze all over the place, which also doesn't help. But,
no.
No.
Yeah, right. But I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. Like if I was thinking about it like years ago, that like working at a place and having like a bar at the place would have been kind of cool. But I think just with the new perspective and all, it's just doesn't really help.
Huh.
Yeah, man. Well, thank you so much, Michael. I think you gave us a really cool insight onto the urban legends of the Red Line. And I think that now I totally have to make a trip back to Boston sometime soon.
That would be great. Yeah. No, and this is, I mean, I really like this podcast. I mean, I haven't listened to all the episodes, but I really like it. I listen to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like I feel like it has this great addictive quality to it, and I like it. So you
We
guys
appreciate it. And we appreciate you giving us your perspective on the urban legends of a nascent place. Like that's a very cool
baby
kind of
place.
moment. Exactly. And and seeing a baby place and its mythology kind of start to take off is pretty beautiful.
Yeah, no, I appreciate being asked on or at least told by my bosses to come on. So it's really cool.
Whatever your headcanon accepts, we will take.
I appreciated it.
All right. It was our pleasure, Michael. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good day. Be careful of the rats. Bye.
Bye.
And listeners, remember,
Stay creepy.
stay cool.
Greater Boston is written and produced by Alexander Danner and Jeff Van Dreason, with recording and technical assistance from Marck Harmon. The Spirits podcast is by Amanda McLoughlin and Julia Schifini. Spirits of Greater Boston was arranged by Alexander Danner and Jeff Van Dreason and improvised by Amanda McLoughlin, Julia Schifini, and James Oliva. This episode featured James Oliva as Michael Tate, and our very special guests Julia Schifini and Amanda McLoughlin as Julia Schifini and Amanda McLoughlin. We are so thoroughly delighted to have Amanda and Julia join us for the Spirits Podcast Greater Boston crossover. If you're not listening to the Spirits Podcast, then you're making a mistake. Every episode features Amanda and Julia discussing real myths and urban legends from around the world, accompanied by drinks. These are two smart, incredibly funny, and usually slightly inebriated ladies. Their show is 100% fun with a side of cultural education. You really have to go check it out. And if you want more creepy goodness this Halloween, please check out What's the Frequency, a psychedelic noir audio drama written by James Oliva and produced by me, Alexander Danner, and featuring a performance by Julia Schifini. Find it on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcatcher. The Spirits Podcast theme is by Kevin McLeod. Charlie on the MTA is recorded by Emily Peterson and Dirk Tiede.
and like have your mouth at the end and just kind of like in a cartoon sense, like it goes gloop, like right down.
No, I think then you would probably choke and die. You'd probably asphyxiate.
Well, wait, but if we're going to fantasize about putting a burrito in a pneumatic tube, why can't we fantasize about the idea that it just, shoots in your mouth and you eat it?
I'm just saying then, ghost in the tube.